So what do you see as actually being the target market for your solution? Who is it going to be? Eric, maybe you might want to start there.
So I think that what's really important to think about what we've traditionally considered to be an exchange is changing dramatically. So, if you want to trade a regulated security, that space is pretty well taken care of today. But there's a whole ecosystem of new types of applications and asset classes where price discovery just hasn't hit the market yet. And so I think when I think markets, I think price discovery. The simplest way for me to explain this is if you go to StubHub or SeatGeek or Airbnb as a consumer, I could see that there is inventory availability and a price at which I could purchase it, but I don't know the historical prices. I can't place a bid. There are roundabout ways to do it, but it's not built into the experience. And there's always a company called StockX that I keep as kind of my North Star for a really good B2C market experience. So for us, when we set out to build this, we wanted to think about what would it mean for there to be thousands or tens of thousands of exchanges in the world? How are those constraints different? How are the assets different? How do these things need to operate together? What are the experiences that they're solving for? And I think that was just a really fun experience to take everything that the three of us know from traditional capital markets and think about how to apply that to more retail B2C type situations. And our solution works for both. We could launch it at a major top 10 exchange for a traditional asset class. We could help you list sneakers and create a whole new marketplace for it. And that was really our guiding principle when we sat down to build something like this.
Fascinating. So let me move that on then to Magnus. How do you see the target market overall for what you're looking at?
I really agree with everything that Eric is saying. I think the creativity, the experimentation that we see right now is unprecedented. It's something that I have never seen the like of in the last 20 years. This concept of what a market actually is rapidly evolving. And so the target market is really wide. We're talking to traditional type marketplaces where they are looking to trade sort of bond-like structures, equity-like structures, and financial instruments comprise funds. But we're also seeing very, very exotic, completely new types of investment models and investment ideas popping up. Investing in content producers, the various ways in which you can do that is one great example. I feel really privileged. It's so much fun to sit here and talk to all of these different entrepreneurs and all these really bright ideas that are popping up. And then being supported by this enormous platform that we have, where we actually can configure these things and build an ecosystem in a couple of days and start showcasing and start talking about it. Just amazing.
Peter, what would you like to add to the addressable market?
I think if we talk about not just our potential clients that we have in the group, but also their value proposition to their clients, one part that Baymarkets bring to the table is trust. That you can trust the marketplace to handle the counterparty risk, which I think is really important. And to bring on liquidity, bring on sort of both institutional investors or larger volumes, it's essential to have the trust and to be able to calculate and handle the counterparty risk. And I would say you don't have to be a regulated clearinghouse to actually do this. You can handle the margining, the collateral settlement, and everything without being a regulated entity, even though that brings more trust. So just looking at the potential clients that we are talking to, I think they will see a lot of value in what we bring to the table.
Question from Agatha Bellon, and she's actually turned things around. You've told us there's this huge addressable possibility. So what sort of markets can your software not handle, gentlemen? Is there anything? Magnus, let's start with you.
Well, for a matching engine specifically, I can actually answer that. So if you have a market where it's simply a price list and it's take it or leave it, then you don't need Exberry. The sort of traditional primary market where it's book filling, you also actually don't need Exberry.
Peter, what about the clearing side of things?
Well, when you talk about digital assets, you think about instant settlement, right? And you don't talk about T+2 or T+ whatever. And I guess for the clearing part, if you do instant settlement, then you don't really need the clearing piece. However, what we see and think is that even for cash products, you do need to handle risk, because if you start getting a lot of volume, you also need to do netting at the end of the day or during the day. So I would say that for the clearing piece, maybe not the products that can be instantly settled isn't the right thing. But I would say that any market that grows needs to have that.
Excellent altogether. Eric, any limit to what you cannot possibly manage to utilize your software for?
Illicit markets. Illegal activity.
A perfect answer. Don't do illegal things. Do not volunteer for an orange jumpsuit, ladies and gentlemen.